Okay, I will start. It's Welcome everyone to today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, and we are in Canto 4, Chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha, and the verse number is 24 today. I'll read the verse in translation, then we'll have some discussion. Apyarvak Apyarvakvrittayo yasya mahitvatmabhu adayah yatamati grunanti sma krutanugraha vigraham Apyarvagvrittayo yasya mahitvatmabu adayah yatamati grunanti sma krutanugraha vigraham. Word to word. Api, still, arvak vrittayah, beyond the mental activities. Yasya, whose, mahi, glory, tu, but, atmabhu adayah, Brahma, etc. Yatamati, according to their different capacities. Grunantisma, offered prayers. Kruta Anugraha, manifested by his grace. Vigraham, transcendental form. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Although the mental scope of even demigods like Brahma was unable to comprehend the unlimited glories of the Supreme Lord, they were all able to perceive the transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by His grace. Only by such grace could they offer their respectful prayers according to their different capacities. Purport. The Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is always unlimited, and his glories cannot be completely enumerated by anyone, even by a personality like Lord Brahma. It is said that Ananta, a direct incarnation of the Lord, has unlimited mouths, and with each mouth he has been trying to describe the glories of the Lord for an unlimited span of time. Yet the glories of the Lord remain unlimited, and he therefore never finishes. It is not possible for any ordinary living entity to understand or to glorify the unlimited personality of Godhead, but one can offer prayers or service to the Lord according to one's particular capacity. This capacity is increased by the service spirit. Sevon Mukhehi Jivado means that the service of the Lord begins with the tongue. This refers to chanting. By chanting Hare Krishna, one begins the service of the Lord. Another function of the tongue is to taste and accept the Lord's prasada. We have to begin our service to the unlimited with the tongue and become perfect in chanting and accepting the Lord's prasada. To accept the Lord's prasada means to control the entire set of senses. The tongue is considered to be the most uncontrollable sense because it anchors for so many unwholesome eatables, thereby forcing the living entity into the dungeon of material conditional life. As the living entity transmigrates from one form of life to another, he has to eat so many abominable foodstuffs that finally there is no limit. The tongue should be engaged in chanting and in eating the Lord's prasada so that the other senses will be controlled. Chanting is the medicine, and prasada is the diet. With these processes, one can begin his service. And as the service increases, the Lord reveals more and more to the devotee. But there is no limit to his glories, and there is no limit to engaging oneself in the service of the Lord. We'll do Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namani Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Premapadayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Korudvishe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Itaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Again, welcome. We are doing 4724 today. I'll read the translation one more time. Although the mental scope of even demigods like Brahma was unable to comprehend the unlimited glories of the Supreme Lord, they were all able to perceive the transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by His grace. Only by such grace could they offer their respectful prayers according to their different capacities. So, the background, quick introduction to this chapter or what has happened so far. So, in the previous chapter, the demigods and Brahma has approached Lord Shiva and they pacified him. And in this chapter, Lord Shiva was responding to Lord Brahma, his father. And he mentions that the demigods and the demigods are like childish and they are less intelligent. So therefore, he shown his mercy, of course, by punishment. And later, he brought back Daksha and everyone else who brought back their life by giving their different bodies. Like Daksha was given a goat's head, and other demigods and other who sacrifices their injuries were uh, cleared. So therefore they started the resume, the sacrifice again. And while they're doing that, of course, before that, Daksha regained his consciousness. He offered some prayers to Lord Shiva. Um and they started the sacrifice one more time with Lord Brahma and Shiva and all other present in the assembly. And this section is when Lord Vishnu appears once the oblations were offered, and the prayers is going to happen. Here, Maitreya is narrating this story to Lord Vidura, but in next verse or the couple of verses onwards, the prayers to Lord Vishnu will start. So here Maitreya is saying to Vidura. So he says, even Brahma was unable to comprehend the unlimited glories of the Lord. And Brahma, like demigods like Brahma, not just Brahma, but anyone else, including Brahma, and what to speak of a conditioned living entity who is finite and trying to glorify the infinite or unlimited glories of the Lord. But yet, even though they are not able to comprehend or understand His glories, they were still able to see the form of the Lord. And this verse talks about why they can see, even though they are not uh, qualified, because of the Lord's grace. And only by His grace, by the Lord's grace, they could offer their respectful prayers as per their capacities. So that's what follows upon after this verse, their prayers to the Lord Vishnu. And Prabhupada says this, I mean, we heard multiple times, this material world is always under the modes of nature, and there are different classes of living entities, and Brahma is the topmost. And from this verse, we can understand he himself is not qualified uh, whether to see Lord's form or to glorify the Lord. So it is, what is our position? What is our qualification? And in the purport, Prabhupada also explains how Anantashesh was trying as per his capacity, with millions of mouths for millions of years, and he was still not able to complete the Lord's glories. So that is the Lord. Ananta Shesh is the expansion of the Lord, and he himself cannot glorify the Lord enough. And uh, it is very impossible for us to even try to come to that position. And in Srimad Bhagavatam also, Suta Goswami, when he was asked to explain the pastimes in the Srimad Bhagavatam to the sages of Naimisharanya, when Shanaka Rishi asked him, Suta Goswami also begins his humble position. He compares himself to a bird. Like, as a bird cannot, as much, how much a bird can fly in the sky. So that much is his capacity. So the sky is the limited, unlimited glories of the Lord. And he's like a bird who is trying to fly as much as he can. So even Suta Goswami and everyone who's a pure devotees of the Lord always take that humble position. And no one can surpass the Lord in his glories. So therefore, they are unable to understand the unlimited glories of the Lord. However, they are still able to see the Lord's form, the transcendental form. That's where Prabhupada says in many occasions, the Archa Vigraha form for us and the Lord's his own form. The Lord, I think he appears as an 8-handed Vishnu form, and they were able to see that. And for us here, we are able to see Lord's Archa Vigraha form, and both are non-different. And by Lord's mercy alone, that we were able to see his form in the temple. And Prabhupada also says, like for the less intelligent, like women, Vijabandhu or Shudras, the temple worship is the only way that we can approach to the Lord. So therefore, to our capacity, we need to worship the Lord with whatever the prayers that we can remember. Mother Kunti has wonderful prayers, and there are so many prayers. The Bhagavatam is full of prayers. And so we can take some of those prayers and try to glorify the Lord to our capacity. And in this chapter also, Daksha tries to, when he regains his consciousness, he comes back to his real senses. He understands what offenses he have made at the feet of Lord Shiva. And he started to offer his obeisances through his prayers. And towards the end, he says, what I can offer prayers with my limited condition. And he asks he requests Lord Shiva to be pleased by his own mercy. So that is something we can also take away, because we cannot offer to the Lord the glories or the praise. So at least we can pray to the Lord that be pleased by your own mercy. So that is one thing I've noticed. And there are so many prayers that we can think of. Mother Kunti has offered so many prayers too. We can learn. We can see those prayers, and then we try to offer those to the Lord. And the conditioned nature of us, and we see Brahma's offenses to the Lord as well. The Brahma Vimohan Leela, and there are a couple of times in Bhagavatam that Brahma has offended the Lord. One when he stolen the cowherd boys and the cows. That's a very big offense. And Krishna has expanded uh, and shown his all the plenary expansions by taking Lord Vishnu when Lord Brahma comes back and see how come these boys and the cows are still there while he was hiding them in the cave? And Krishna has shown him all his Vishnu expansions. And also once when he visits Dwaraka to see the Lord, the security guard, he stops him and says, "Who are you? Or which Brahma are you?" And the Brahma says, "I am the Brahma of this world." What do you mean? Which Brahma I am? And then he visits the Lord. Lord brings all the Brahmas from all the unlimited universes. One has 4 head, one has 8 head, 100 heads, 1,000 head, million heads maybe. Uh, and Prabhupada says there that this material world is the smallest of all the other universes, this universe that we have. Therefore, our Brahma has only 4 heads, and other Brahmas has more. So that's how the Brahma's pride has been taken away by the Lord. So if Brahma can make such offenses, and we are making many offenses, whether knowingly or unknowingly. I was reading Srila Prabhupada's biography towards the end, when he was not taking any more liquids, and he was at that point of time, he was saying towards the end, he was asking for forgiveness for all his offenses. And when Tamal Krishna Maharaj has asked, "Oh Prabhupada, what do you mean you made some offenses? You're the Lord's dear one. How can you make any offenses? You did not make any offenses." And he says, "No, in this world, unknowingly we make offenses." And he also says what he did, like, "I'm very temperamental. Therefore, I have used some words like rascal and so on." And sometimes people used to call it as, Prabhupada, you're holding a club in one hand and Srimad Bhagavatam in another hand. So he gives those reasons and says, "I made mistakes, I made offenses, so please forgive me." And also he offers his obeisances, and he offers and he requests forgiveness from his god brothers also. I think Puri Maharaj and so many other god brothers attend Srila Prabhupada. And at that time, he humbly asked for forgiveness for all his offenses. He says, "I am the most fallen Mahapatita." And the God brother says that, "No, you're not the most fallen. You actually have saved millions of uh, living entities around the world. So you're not the most fallen, but you are the savior of the most fallen. Mahapatita Pavana." So if Prabhupada is, again, whom we look up to in our devotional service, so what to speak of us, we are unlimitedly making offenses. So where am I coming to in this verse? Prabhupada says that by devotional service, which starts uh, with our tongue, mostly two things: chanting and eating prasada. So one need to serve in a humble position, uh, whether we did it or not, whether we remember or not. As we are making some offenses, we need to be humble, take that position and ask for forgiveness, and practice our devotional service. And the verse that in Padma Purana that Prabhupada has quoted in this translation or in this purport is Atas Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriye sevon mukhe hi jivvadav swayam eva spuratyada. So Atas Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriye, how much we can glorify the Lord. We cannot perceive Lord's name, form, pastimes, and etc. with our limited senses, with our blunt material senses. So, what does the verse says? Therefore, sevon mukhe jifado. Therefore, do service. Therefore, we need to serve the Lord, starting with our tongue, jifa, and by that by that service, by such service, Lord will manifest in our heart. Just like how uh, the demigods here trying to glorify the Lord, offering their prayers, and they were still able to perceive the Lord's form. Similarly, when we perform our service by chanting and by taking Lord's remnants, the sanctified food, prasada, then Lord will manifest in our heart as well. So chanting, we have heard a lot from His Holiness Rampada Swami Maharaj from the past week or so. And Prabhupada also mentions in his purport, chanting is our medicine. Once I remember when I had migraines, I tried everything. Uh, Actually, I didn't know that I have migraines. I thought it's normal headaches. And one of my friend said that is migraines. And then I realized, okay, and we have a family Ayurveda doctor. We approached him, and he gave a medicine that took away the root of my migraines. It's so wonderful that within 7 to 10 days, I can see the how it is acting on my body so quick, and within 3 months, it's all gone. It's unbelievable, but I have suffered for a few years, and it's all gone now. But we still need to be careful not to do certain things, which I'm practicing that. But so it's just like a migraine. We have our own sickness in this material world, and we need to approach a right person, right doctor, guru, and get the medicine and use it properly, not carelessly. So chanting is such a medicine which we can properly chant. Two things that Rupa Goswami says and Maharaj explained, Adarat and Anudinam, uh, carefully and respectfully every day that we need to chant. And the second one is the tongue, which can be used for eating prasada. Prabhupada says that one need to eat a lot of prasada. In fact, even in his last few days, he was being administered by his devotees, I think Kirtanananda Swami, and he's only on the liquids. But when his sister came, uh, and he was asking to make her prepare his favorite kachoris, and Kirtananda Swami, they mentioned, no, you cannot. Now you cannot. You have been on liquids for several days. It will upset your stomach and it will be more worse. And Prabhupada says that uh, whatever she makes, whether it is good for me or bad for me, it is still okay. Because when we receive food from a Vaishnavi, that will always be good for us. So Prabhupada has shown several, or he taught several things at the end of his life by his example. In this one, he is explaining that a prasada's importance, it is always good for us because a Vaishnava has made, and Vaishnava cannot make such prasada or offer prasada, which is not good for one's welfare or benefit. So therefore, one can take prasada and take more and more. And in the beginning, Prabhupada always used to encourage, and he himself prepare feast in the early days in New York, and he encouraged everyone to eat as much as possible, unlimited. That is at the beginning, and many occasions he also says one need to be regulated. So what I understand is in the beginning, when we started our Krishna consciousness, one of the things I personally remember is prasadam, so attractive and so much, and unlimited, and so that is at the beginning. So we encourage everyone to take prasadam, but at the same time we need to regulate as we are progressing in our bhakti as well, that one need to be regulative in what they eat. And we have several verses, or at least one verse which I can't remember now, but in Nectar of Instruction, that how it affects our other senses. So it's the most dangerous tongue We need to use it properly for chanting uh, and glorifying the Lord and eating prasada in a regulated manner. Also, yesterday I was hearing something from Prabhupada. He mentions how the tongue can be misused. Just he compares that to a frog croaking. In the rainy season, these frogs come out and make beautiful sounds, and we know what happens after. The snakes easily find them and eats them. And Prabhupada says that if you're not using it a proper way, and misusing it in several other ways, uh, talking about mundane topics or eating everything else other than prasada, then you're calling upon Yamaraj, and the death, you're calling upon your own death. So therefore, our tongue should not be like a frog croaking. It should be used for a proper purpose. I know we have 3 more minutes. So, what qualification do we have to even offer prayers? Our qualification is uh, is Prabhupada. Our qualification is our Guru, spiritual master. By their own mercy, they are able to give us this knowledge of bhakti, uh, uncovering its wonderful, inconceivable topics, and giving it to us in a very easily digestible manner. So, by their mercy alone, that is their mercy, that's our qualification, that we can uh, perform our devotion to the Lord. Just like a child with the broken words try to please his father, so we can be in such a position where we can try to please the Lord with whatever our capacity is, and offer the prayers to the Lord. Yeah, that's all is coming to my mind. But the other day I was asking Maharaj how we can progress in our bhakti, how we can do more chanting and in our quality and quantity. He mentions that it's the desire, it's a natural inclination. Even though in the beginning we follow this regulation, the vow that we took 16 rounds, but after that we continue to do that, and then the desire to uh, please the Lord, and the relationship that we have with the Lord, once it gets matured, then it automatically, naturally flows to us to to chant uh, more rounds or with more quality, all of that. I will just conclude. So here we are all infinite, and we are trying to glorify the Lord who is unlimited. And Prabhupada says that can increase our capacity to glorify the Lord, can increase only by our service, which starts with chanting and taking prasadam. And that can also be any other service, deity worship, or hearing, or reading Bhagavatam. But only through the service, our capacity increases, uh, maybe unlimitedly, uh, if our service keeps on increasing. Thank you, everyone, for attending today's class. Uh, I'll open for any discussion or questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam,
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada and Guru. Thank
Shishla.
you for such a wonderful class this morning. So I was thinking about you were talking about Prabhupada seeking forgiveness, right? I was wondering, all the Prabhupada was seeking forgiveness, but actually that's not an offense, because he was actually helping the devotees. Whatever he was saying, his intention was to help the devotees progress in their spiritual life, right? But that's a hope giving, because in our day-to-day life, at least I commit so many offenses. Um, so I don't know how. I can seek forgiveness for all the offenses that I commit. Especially other day we were hearing Maharaj class about the anarthas raising from the devotion, right?
Mm, mm,
So it start from home only, right?
mm.
Our kids who are involved in so many activities at the temple or with spouse or somebody. I mean, we try to at least I uh, I try to correct them. Sometimes I might be wrong, but that's an offense on my part. While I also getting more judgmental about the because we are in this closed devotee association, we tend to be more judgmental about what others do and that kind of things, right? So
Yes,
how we can seek forgiveness and correct ourselves then committing again and again those kind of things. So
yes, yes.
yeah, after this I have another question. I'll
You
definitely.
have brought up so many things. Yes, Prabhupada said that, but his disciples also mentioned that you did only for the service of the Lord, and you only you're only doing because chastising disciples or anything for their own benefit.
Benefit.
It always He's always thinking of the Lord. Even towards the end, he wants to take parikrama of the Govardhan hill because it's Govardhan puja on that day, and he has a uh, he has that consciousness, so he cannot commit. But he mentioned it is unknowingly. It's not knowingly he did it. Unknowingly he
Mm,
made some offenses at the Vaishnavas, and it's his humility uh, that he is in out of many lessons that he was teaching his disciples. He is also teaching humility at that time, like we know in Sikshastrika, Trunadapi Sunichena, Tarurapi Sahishnuna. So even when we are offending somebody, what we can do, that is our conditioned life. Knowingly we cannot. If we know that we did offended, forgiveness is the best approach. uh, we heard many times from many devotees. So seek forgiveness. But if unknowingly you did something, we cannot do, we don't even know that. You mentioned about the child, your kids, bringing them into discipline. It is our duty. It is not we are offending them. uh, yeah, but you're beating them, and you're going above and beyond than just parenting. It is an offense. It's our We are taking advantage of the kids. So we need to see where our boundaries are and where their boundaries are. Kids are kids. Anyways, so if you are unknowingly making offenses, like how Guru Maharaj was saying, chanting. Chanting is the means, and it's a end. So you chant, you keep chanting. That will take away your sins unknowingly from its root. Uh, so with that mood, we chant even more. If you already know that you're making more offenses, then our chanting should be even more quality and quantity. So we keep on chanting. So that's what coming to my mind.
thank you, Prabhu. One question again I have
Yes.
is oftentimes we prasadam is something we take it. Prasadam is something for the tongue, uh, right? While it also uh, have the effect on the soul. So the prasadam that we take from the tongue, we we cannot separate the ingredients that we may not like. We accept it and we have it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes the prasadam for the soul and mind, which is in the form of Bhagavatam hearing or chanting. So I have a tendency of taking those things that I like, and some things I may not take it.
Mm.
So how do I take as it is whole? Like So, uh, did I try to explain it properly,
I
bro?
got
Like,
some part of it. You compared prasadam with Bhagavatam and hearing. Prasadam, in prasadam we remove certain things that we do not like, or in the same way you have other services that you cannot do, cannot perform, but you are interested only in hearing and chanting or Bhagavatam.
mm,
Correct,
yeah.
correct me if I'm understanding this.
Actually, I don't know how I am able to put it in the words. Like many times we hear some good advice from the senior devotees or from Bhagavatam stories that will help us nourish our consciousness,
Correct.
right? And sometimes we have a preconceived notion and we expect things to hear what we
Mm,
wanted to hear. Uh, Although it comes as a package with both things
mm,
that are good for us. I mean, when a senior devotee or somebody is advising us, some things may not be palatable for us, right? For our to improve our consciousness. So there is a tendency of discarding that part and uh, taking the things what we like to do, right?
mhm.
So that's what my I was trying to explain.
Yes. Okay. So
Yeah.
what is the
So how
question?
do we take everything as it is, even though if it is not uh, palatable for our mind, yet it's since it's coming from the senior Vaishnavas who can see things better from the outside,
Yes.
right? So how do we take it and carry
Understood.
it forward?
Okay. So, as you said, you rightly said, everyone has their own nature. This is what I understood. We have our own set of beliefs. As we are growing up, we were taught some things, we ate some things. Uh, our lifestyle was completely different, most of our lifestyles. And now we started this process, Krishna consciousness, and in most ways it is completely opposite, but we still took it up.
Mhm.
And as you mentioned, senior devotees are giving us something for our own benefit, as just like our Prabhupada says, Vaishnavas can only think of others' welfare. At the same time, we need to be intelligent enough to to what is the word, discriminate, or to see what is good for us and what is not.
Mhm.
Just like in prasadam you mentioned, some things are not good for you, but it is prasadam. What to do? Like you cannot offend prasadam. Some people do not take dairy products, but it is paneer, it's prasadam offered to the Lord. You cannot say no. So you need to know what is good for you, what is not good for us, and then act accordingly using our intelligence. And when Vaishnavas, pure devotees, comes and tell us something other than spiritual master, this is what I understood. Other than spiritual master,
Yeah.
even if it is spiritual master, at to some extent, if they are giving us some advice,
Mhm.
we just cannot take it blindly. Prabhupada always says, "Don't become blind. Use your intelligence. You need to be independently thoughtful person."
Mhm.
He never said to be take every instruction that is coming from every Vaishnava. So that's where it comes, the Lord's play in our heart, super soul. So
Mhm.
we hear what is super soul trying to tell us also, and we have scriptures as well. I mean, scriptures are very far beyond. It's as per time and place and circumstance. So even Prabhupada, when he wrote something, it is for that time and place at that particular people. So we cannot take everything applies to us. So we need to be thoughtful, use our intelligence, and see the direction of super soul. We might have experienced in many times super soul trying to tell us something, or we did something what he says, and then it appears very wonderful. Sometimes we never hear it and we see reverse actions. So these things coming to my mind, Prabhu. Intelligence, take it up, but uh, try it. If it is not working for you, it is not an offense because it's not favorable for your bhakti. If it is favorable for your bhakti, you can take it up and always be grateful, whether showing gratitude for them, whether it is favorable or unfavorable, because they are at least trying to give us something.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. I think we are uh, heading towards time. I know everyone is busy. If no more questions, I think we can end it up. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripasindhubhya eva cha, Patitanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.